Episode of After Dark is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to support the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. Thanks for your continued support.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the topical podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. It's your boy, Laron, back in the house tonight. We've been graced with a superstar in our presence. The one, the only, the mad pharmacist herself, Miss Stephanie Klimov. Hello.
Hello, I am alive and I am here. And I'm so happy to slowly hop back on that saddle. So thanks for having me tonight.
Yeah, just to cool everybody off on the internet, like the cat lady that is Stephanie did not get eaten by her cats.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Speaking of, we hardly ever see Paxil anymore when you are recording.
Yeah, I think she's kind of fed up with, because she likes to sit on my lap and I'm always like moving around. I think she just kind of given up. She'll be back.
All right. And PK Power, Pat Klein.
Hello.
He's always here with me, and I love him for that.
Unlike Paxil, I stuck around.
There you go. See? So loyal. Paxil. Anyway.
Yeah, either that or I just don't have a good excuse to get out of it.
How's everybody doing tonight?
We're all right.
Yeah.
We
Kind of like you mentioned at the pre-show, Laron, like this week has already been a real rough week. For me in particular, it was primarily work related. It's been pretty frustrating. So I'm just surviving day to day.
Yeah, definitely. Day to day for sure. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna bring everybody into the melodrama that is my life this week, because God knows. Pat, you?
It's been the week's been relatively good so far. I mean, it's been a busy week at work. We're back into budget season, even though we're missing a lot of information for our budgets. And so, it's like, hey,
that's interesting.
It's funny because we were waiting for, our ownership to give us the information, but they also want, these things done. It's like, well, you're going to have to give us what we need first. Otherwise, we can't do what you want us to do at a reasonable time. So
sounds like corporate.
Yeah, it does.
So other than that, it's just preparing things, just getting them ready for, when we finally do get the information, then we can just plug those in and be done with it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yep. It's fun. It keeps me busy.
All right, I'm just looking at something on our notes here. Just something to kind of help with housekeeping, in the future. Speaking of housekeeping, though, if you want to support After Dark and the Boss Rush podcast, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. You subscribe to the tiers on our Patreon that gets you the perks that I know you like, including the exclusive pre-show and post-show contents. After Dark is all the pre-shows on the Patreon. You'll also get voting rights for our spoiler cast and our video game book club, which my two co-hosts are mainstays on the book clubs, and also exclusive question threads for our Spotlight podcast, early access to After Dark, and much more. As always, though, your viewership and listenership is enough for us, so please subscribe to the Boss Rush Network on YouTube and like this video if you're checking it out right now. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just leave us a rating and a nice review on those platforms. Even if you don't think we're the best, please rate it, review it, let us know what's going on. We want to hear from you. We want to
even though we are the best.
We are the best. We're the best. All right, you can find all of our banners, features, listicles, reviews, and more over on our website. That's bossrush.net. Okay, you guys got any upcoming spotlights or appearances or anything like that to plug?
I mean, we always got our book clubs going on, and now you can listen to on our Patreon. You can listen to Oh, what did we just talk about?
Mario.
Thank you. I'm like, why
Paper
am I
Mario?
spacing it? Paper Mario. Yep. And our free podcast, you can listen to Stray, which has our friend
Mhm.
Lala from Toge, and Paper Mario has our friend Celeste from Old Boss Rush, and my friend
Mhm.
Taylor. She'll be on an episode in the future.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Definitely still working on a lot of spotlights. I believe the one that came out recently was my interview with uh, John Calderon of Angry Demon Studios. They're based out of Sweden. They're going to be releasing Gory Cuddly Carnage very soon. Another cat game, by the way. That I even told Corey that was hands down one of my favorite interviews, just because he is a very cool person to talk to. I love getting to know, him and his studio, what they stand for, working with Wired Productions, who will be publishing the game. Another one of my favorite interviews, and a great group of guys, Fretless, will be published shortly after Gamescom. So please check them out. I met them at PAX East this year. They have a pixel art RPG with a theme around music, so it's pretty fantastic. But more interviews to come. I am in touch with a few more developers, so I'll keep you guys posted.
All right. And coming up in a couple of weeks on the Boss Rush podcast, Corey and I are going to be joined by a program developer that I will not divulge the name to, because we want to keep you guys surprised. But you're going to love it. But I will give you guys a clue though. Like, he's returning from a spotlight episode from last year. So
Can't
yeah,
wait.
there you go. All right,
Fabulous guest.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess it's time for the main event now, right?
Let's do it.
All right. All right. So we're going to break into our show topic for tonight. If you have a topic that you want to talk about, you can join our free tier on Patreon or join the Boss Rush Network Discord. We're always looking for guests as well, so you can let us know if you'd like to be on, and all you have to do is just send us a message over on Discord. So this actually is not a topic from Discord. Actually, this is one of my own homegrown ones, because I think with the kind of week I've been having, I just want to see, are we all ruled by our emotions? Like I feel like everybody is just an inch away from always having like some type of emotional outburst, whether it be like extreme joy, overwhelming sadness, like violent anger, stuff of that nature and stuff like that. So we're just gonna talk about our feelings today, which is weird because like it's weird not having Corey on the show, because Corey always has the most feelings.
Corey doesn't want to talk about his feelings.
Yeah,
he likes to hold them inside until he explodes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So basically, okay. So I've got a couple of examples here, and we can either tackle them one by one, or we can just talk about them all at the same time. Like, are you one of those people that fall in love too quickly?
What? Me.
Okay.
Me.
Okay. Are you even tempered, or would you consider yourself more bad temper, or have more of a bad temper?
Me.
That wasn't a me question. That was one or the other.
It could be both. It could be both.
I know we're gonna delve into them more. So keep going.
Yeah. Overly cautious, or are you one of those damn the consequences type of people? I'm kind of a
Probably
mix.
the former.
I'm kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So let's start with the first one. How are you one of those people that get absolutely infatuated and fall in love really quick? Like does your gym crush become like the object of your stalking affection?
Yes.
Damn.
This is a clinical problem for me. Ever since probably my first real crush in the 8th grade, which borderlined obsession. And if I wasn't a minor, I probably would have been arrested. But just kidding. But no,
God.
I don't know, but I don't know if it's one of those things where I have to psychoanalyze myself, where I was an ugly duckling and didn't get a lot of attention from my parents as a kid, and therefore I was obsessed with the idea of love and getting attention from boys or girls, as I've come to later understand. So. And I am an INFJ, if we want to talk about Myers-Briggs. I'm already a very feelings person. So my starvation for friendships, romance, any sort of human connection, I latch on to pretty intensely. In my 30s, I can temper it a little bit, but let me tell you, for example, if so much as a guy gives me a little bit of attention and there's some sort of mild attraction and they say some nice things to me and we hang out, I'm automatically like, oh my gosh, this person really likes me. I think I'm developing feelings, and I'll start listening to music that'll make me more. And then like maybe 2 days later I find out that it's more of a friendship thing, and then I create my own heartbreak. My
Or
own.
or he's married.
And bust out
Or
the
he's
depression.
married.
And bust out the
Yes.
depressions mixed track.
Yes. So it's all on me. Like, I fully acknowledge that, and I've worked on myself, but I get attached super quick, and especially when it comes to like quote unquote falling in love or falling infatuation. It's a weakness. Who's with me?
I can see Stephanie in high school. Like
Dude, you don't want to know the things that I did.
like you trip down the stairs and the guy you have a crush on looks at you, you just get up, brush yourself off, like he looked at me.
Yes.
And the rest of your day is made.
Yes, and then I would hyper analyze like what kind of look that was. Like, oh, he looked at me for like more than 3 seconds. Did he blink? And that means this, that, and the other thing. And then like a year later, I'd be going by that same spot. I'm like, that was a spot where I fell down and he looked at me. Like, I'm serious. Like, it's embarrassing, but it happened. I own it.
Nice.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I fall in love too quickly, but I get attached real fast. And I'm also like I'm kind of like I'm kind of like you, Stephanie. Like like show me attention, show me the right type of attention, stuff like that. And I might at least become your new best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want a friend or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you, Pat.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I like I love the I do love the idea of being in love, and like having that, not so much the butterflies, but like the when relationships are new and stuff like that, and stuff like that, like I like that rush you get, at the initial beginning and stuff like that, or even the rush you get when it's like, oh, this might be moving towards a relationship and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say I fall in love too quickly, but I definitely get caught up in the feeling the moment it does happen.
All
right, Pat, your turn.
All right. Back in the past, I would be one of the kind of people that would fall in love too quickly, and it usually ended up not only just getting my heart broken, but also being used because I fall for the wrong person, and they took advantage of that. But now, like, I would still say that if I feel a connection, I will get attached, but I am very hesitant to like make moves now. So I appreciate it from afar and accept that I will always be lonely.
Well, I mean, I would yell at you, Pat, but I also take that extreme mindset sometimes, so I can't yell at you if I can't follow my own advice. So
I haven't had a legitimate girlfriend in damn near, I want to say it's been about 10 years since I've had a legitimate girlfriend. Not someone that like I've hung out or, fooled around with, but someone that I've like felt like a strong connection to. So it's been a while.
All right. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about our tempers. And I'll just go ahead and lead this one. I I have been known. I'm known to have a really bad temper, but I'm one of those people where like my temper shows like like because I kind of like I compartmentalize like my emotions a lot. Especially like the more okay. There's no such thing as a negative emotion. Like I've read enough psychology books and talked to enough therapists that there's no such thing as a negative emotion. And stuff like that. So like people who are afraid of like getting angry and stuff like that, you need to just reconcile. And if something's pissing you off, like know that you're pissed off. Vent if you have to and stuff like that. You know, my temper though, like I have a temper, but it's based on like how much I put up with. Because I can put up with a lot of stuff, but and like when I hit my breaking point, then like I let it be known, like a fair amount of cursing might happen and stuff like that. And then because like people are not used to me like just going off about something and stuff like that, then they're like, damn, that guy's crazy. They don't realize, like I put, like I usually put up a metric ton of shit, and then I finally let go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I say I'm definitely a mix of being even tempered along with bad temper, but like my family for sure, like they tell me to this day, oh, you had a very bad temper.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm definitely in the same boat. I had a bad temper when I was a lot younger. I have found myself a heck of a lot more patient now. Or just maybe not even patient, but just like finding like things just aren't worth it, or like fighting things just aren't worth it, or losing my temper over something just isn't worth it. Unless it's a video game that pisses me off.
That's an exception.
Yeah, that opens up emotions that I've kept bottled up inside,
Mm-hmm.
and then I
Okay.
cry later.
Mm.
Right, kitty? Yeah. She's like, you're a
I
weirdo.
No, I also have a mix because my mom has a hot temper and my dad has a long fuse, but once you reach the end of the fuse, watch out. So what'll happen is I will become enraged fairly quickly, but I don't know if it was the way I was raised, but I force myself to never ever take it out on people or show other people. So I kind of rage internally or listen to death metal or something. So yeah. Like I don't know,
Music's
like
great.
yeah, you guys know me. Like when have you guys and be honest, when have you guys seen me have a legitimate temper? Like express my a legitimate temper.
I don't think I can say I recall that.
I might have seen it once.
So it's I do keep it fairly buttoned up. For better or for worse. So
Yeah.
there's that.
So there we go.
Okay.
We found out that we all like to hold deep seated emotions inside of us.
Yeah. Yeah, which you know what? I'll be honest with you, like okay, in the pre-show we talked about like contrast of the generations and stuff like that. Like if you have not if you have not heard our pre-show, you can check it out for just by entering by going over to our Patreon and spending $1 and entering the bronze tier. You'll hear our pre-show and you'll hear a little more context of what we're talking about as far as the generations go. But I think when you look at generations of the past, I'm a Gen Xer. When you look at generations of the past, like before my generation, they were known to let their emotions fly and stuff like that, especially their tempers and stuff like that. And then once like I want to say like once we got into the 80s and the 90s, like then it was like, no, you can't do that, like you'll scare people and stuff like that. So then we got taught that we just need to keep those emotions in check and inside ourselves, and like it, and like especially like anger and stuff like that, because I don't know, like we got scared of things, which that's understandable. That's understandable because you never know what this angry person is going to do. Like do they have a weapon? Are they going to are they going to commit vehicular manslaughter? Are they going to Are they gonna do heinous things to like small animals because they have no outlet to vent and stuff like that? Stuff like that. But somehow, some way, like we're a bunch of undercover sociopaths because like we've been taught to like hang on to our emotions until like the absolute last second. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so let's talk about like the things that keep us in check. Particularly, are we cautious, or do we just like shoot first, ask questions later? What? How are we as far as like I guess our sense of adventure, cautious or damn the consequences.
I am very complicated when it comes to that because most of the time I am a cautious person because of my OCD. However, part of OCD is the compulsion. So if I am at a heightened emotional state, I am more likely to shoot from the hip and then ask questions later. So it really depends where I am emotionally as to how calculated or compulsive I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a very calculating person. I will hardly ever do anything off of an impulse. Now,
That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I think though, like that's kind of my like nature of being analytical. Though is like I kind of like to get all my facts before I decide whether or not something's a good idea or a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
See what other people have done first, and if they survived, maybe it's a good idea. If they haven't, then maybe I'll think twice about like jumping
See,
off the bridge or something.
in the laws of Darwinism, you would go very far, my friend.
Thank you.
Moving
Sometimes
around.
though, I might
Oh,
direct
sorry.
other people to do it for me first.
Yep.
Be like, hey, test the water, see if there are piranhas in there
Mhm.
first. If if you
Exactly.
get bit, then I will not go.
Smart.
Mm-hmm. Drink the poison first, then I will have a sip.
People think I'm impulsive and stuff like that, but actually like the stuff they think I do on an impulse, I still put a lot of thought into it. Like Pat, you saw last night those Legos I got.
Yep. That
I
was
was
an
in
impulse.
It was not impulse because guess what? I saw them in the store the first time, and I went somewhere and I didn't buy them then. I went to a couple of stores, and then before I made the decision to go home, I was like, okay, I really want those, so I'm going back. See,
See,
if I was impulsive, I would have bought them right when I saw them.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of impulsive, I did something impulsive where I pre-ordered the Zelda Lego set immediately as soon as the news posted, and then maybe like 2 days later I canceled the pre-order because I'm like, I love Zelda,
what?
but I $300. I'm gonna save that for like
Wait,
whenever the
what?
analog
Wait, what?
N64 thing comes out.
What Legend of Zelda? Hold on.
The
It's
Deku Tree.
the 2-in-1 Deku tree.
Okay, as a Lego maniac, that is worth the purchase.
I
See?
understand that. No, and I didn't say I canceled the pre-order because I did not think it was worth it. I just had to pick and choose where my $300 was going to go. So,
We're just gonna let you know that you made an impulse cancel.
an impulse cancel. There you go. See?
Well,
An
Stephanie,
impulse cancel.
Stephanie, I'm gonna Jedi mind trick you right now and be like, forget all the shit I said about the Legend of Zelda. I would love to have the Deku Tree Lego set.
And it's fun. I am a defender of that. I actually wrote a Boss Rush Banter a while ago about it because people were bitching and complaining about the price. I'm like, listen, if you do the math, like dollar
$300.
per Lego
Yeah.
piece plus the franchise, and licensing and stuff, it's actually fair. It is actually a fair price for what you're given. And
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're the assholes for thinking $300 is too much because, like, have you seen the price of the Titanic Lego set? That shit's $800.
Yeah,
and I love Legos, and I am dating someone that loves the Titanic, and I'm like,
Okay, you got to take into the a fact about how many Lego pieces there are. I think it's like around 2,000. I forget. It's a lot. And then also, Lego is a premium brand. I've played with non-Lego branded plastic bricks, and they suck. And you're dealing with a famous franchise that you also have to, pay for. So like, this is a premium that you need to understand. And if you don't want to, then don't fucking buy it.
Oh, and by the
And
way, for the people who have now heard like Steph talk about the Lego Deku Tree, the Great Deku Tree, and stuff like that, only buy direct from Lego. $2.99. Do not take your ass to freaking eBay and spend $480 for it. Do not.
no. Lego will eventually restock. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my reverse impulse story.
No, Stephanie, if you were actually impulsive, you would have spent $600 because you would have bought 2 box sets of it, and you would have built one the main way, and you would have built the other one the second way.
Okay, so that's one of those sets that it only goes one way or the other.
No. It's called the 2-in-1. Like you can't build both designs at the same time. You have to build one or the other.
I should have bought 2.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm looking at pictures of it right now, and it's like, man, like if I didn't like the motifs, because that's technically what these are. These are motif sets. If I didn't like the motif sets, I would invest in it. But it would be
the recent one with the Yoshi.
Yeah, I saw that one. It's not my bag. It's not my bag.
Really? But it's got so many moving components.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna piss our Nintendo friends off. I do not like any of the Nintendo Lego sets, with the exception of 2.
Bowser?
The NES set that basically has like the scale picture of the Super Mario like World 1-1. I love that one, and I love the Donkey Kong one.
They had a Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Here we go. That's fine. I mean, I'm kind of neutral on the Mario Lego sets. My son loved it for the period of time that he liked Legos, so whatever.
No, the Mario Yoshi one it's got like a little like wind up key, and it makes Yoshi move and also open his mouth to stick out his tongue.
That's so cool. My son loves Yoshi. I just think he fell out of Lego, which stinks.
It's not an official Lego set. Never mind. It's not official. Like someone just engineered one with the bricks.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be like an actual official one. Never mind.
Yeah. The main reason why I don't like the Lego ones is because like it's something about like the actual like characterizations and designs, they almost look like the Duplo blocks in certain instances and stuff like that. And I just don't like that. That's my main reason why I'm not a fan of the Lego Nintendo stuff. Certain things look cool. Like Diddy Kong's like the treehouse, like that looks great, but it's the NES characters that just look weird and funky. Yeah. Oh. I'm still planning my weekend for when I'm going to build that 1,400 piece like starship.
Woo! Ooh, nice.
I don't even know how I'm going to build my Legos because my cat, like, she will attack it.
Do you think she would eat the pieces?
Yeah. Well, she would chew on the pieces and like mutilate them. I don't think she'd actually swallow the pieces.
Well, at least there's that.
Well,
one more thing about emotions. I don't think I saw it listed, but I used to have a really hard time dealing with sadness, that type of emotion. I would go low pretty quickly. And my son is starting to show struggling with how to deal with emotions, which is natural because as kids get older, they start experiencing emotions that they don't never felt before because they haven't lived on this earth for very long and they don't know how to deal with it. And it's interesting from a parent standpoint where it really is up to either family or friends or the environment around them to help shape how they handle these emotions.
Mhm.
Because I really wasn't allowed to express my emotions unless they were happy ones or with my parents. And now that I see my son kind of talking about like how stressed he is, my parents would laugh at me if I say that. And yes, I mean, his stress, quote unquote, isn't real stress, but I also feel like belittling him isn't going to help him manage when he actually has real life stress. So I say, listen, if you feel like your brain has a lot of thoughts going on and you can't stop thinking about it, just sit down and let your brain feel the way you feel. And then after 10, 15 minutes, be like, okay, I've spent my 10, 15 minutes worrying about it. Let's go play a video game or listen to a song or go do an exercise. Um, I I don't claim to be an expert, but I'm trying to take that route and hopefully that'll help him.
That
Yeah,
sounds
that's
like a really mature route to take.
no, that is and that's one thing about parenting that I wish that a lot of parents understood and stuff like that. I think now like some of these some like I'm gonna say from Gen X on, like we've kind of like learned that like we have to help our kids learn how to process their emotions. We have to give them the space to actually experience those emotions and stuff like that. Because like remember like in the young days of YouTube, like like seeing a kid get like pissed because like his parents like did something, and he would go and like basically like, if he didn't wreck his room, he'd like harm himself or some shit like that.
Mhm.
And it's because like like there's something the parent is like I dare you to be upset or
Yep.
afraid or whatever, and stuff like that. um and no, that's not the way it is. Like if your kid needs to like have a screaming fit for like a minute, because like you're not gonna just like scream in my house like a banshee. I'm not going to eventually say something, or you need to go have a good cry and stuff like that. Like I understand, and like we'll talk it out, and stuff like that. I because like I really legit want our children to understand that like we should not be punished for our feelings. You know Now our impulses, we should probably be punished for those, but not for our feelings.
Right. Impulses is a different thing.
Yeah.
And I do feel like it's almost like a refined art. And when I say art, I don't mean like painting on a wall, but there's a finesse to wrangling impulses because, on
Mhm.
one hand, impulses are natural. I don't think they can ever be completely eliminated. It's part of our human being nature. But on
Yeah.
the other hand, you can't just go and run with it either, right? So it's the art of self-discipline, right?
Agreed.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Agreed. Any final thoughts on emotions? Oh well, you know what? We didn't actually answer the main question. Pat, are
What?
you ruled by your emotions?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you ruled by your emotions? How
Good
much passion?
question.
How much passion and fire do you have?
Uh, I don't know. I would consider myself kind of in the middle. Um, about being ruled by my emotions. Like I'm fairly logical. But I would consider myself a bit of an empath though. Like I can feel other people's emotions, and that's almost how I experience emotions nowadays.
I'm gonna remember you said this when Nintendo announces the next Kirby game. We'll come back to this episode.
Like I said, somewhere in the middle. I didn't say I was completely out of it.
Stephanie, are you ruled by your emotions?
In the past, in my 20s, absolutely.
Mhm.
My 30s, current and moving forward, I would say it is a huge influence, but not the final determining factor. I still am very much emotion driven, but I have enough sense to at least pump the brakes a little bit and think about it before I make any rash decisions. Thankfully, and not thankfully, due to some past experiences that led to severe consequences because of it. So from there, I'm like, do you really want to do that? So,
Yeah. All right. And I'm gonna say to an extent I am ruled by my emotions and stuff like that. Because like I'm at an age now where like I really realized that like I did a lot of bottling up of my emotions and stuff like that. And like and there was times in my like early 30s that I was like, why am I crying right now? You know, and stuff like that. You know, like when something legitimately sad was happening, and I'm asking myself, why am I crying right now? You know, instead of acknowledging that, you know, something was emotional enough to invoke me to cry, it's like, why are you crying? You know, or why are you letting this happen to you and stuff like that. So, you know, like, yeah, I am pseudo ruled by my emotions to an extent, but you know, the fact that I'm actually getting to a point where I'm actually capable of processing my emotions in a more mature and adult way, like it's an experience.
For sure. But you know what? Without emotion, we wouldn't be human, right?
That's true. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like if you're a person that you know can grasp every emotion that you have, like that means you have a soul.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
All right. All right, we're gonna move into our listener questions segment. We're just chucking along in this episode, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you want your question read on the show, just join the Boss Rush Network Discord or look for a question thread on our free tier for Patreon and leave your questions in those threads. You can also email us at bossrusafterdark@gmail.com. All right, so we have one question here, and it's actually from our good friend Yari via Discord. Yari asked the question: have you ever been to a strip club? And if so, what's your favorite strip club story?
I feel like this question was just
targeted.
Like the day that Steph comes back, there is a question about a strip club.
Wow.
But you guys go first.
You know what? Fine. I'll do mine. I've only been to one strip club my entire life. So
how was that experience?
I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Like there was a stripper that I fell in love with, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, basically like followed her around for the rest of the night. So she got my money. Mm-hmm.
Got the money.
She got my
got
money.
That money.
She got that money, but I got my dance. So, you know.
Yeah.
But it's funny because that actual stripper, like during one of her like stage times, like she was dancing around, and there was like a lady, you know, watching and also kind of supporting the stripper, and the stripper like goes like kind of like gets down like to the level of the lady and like rips open the lady's shirt, just
nice.
like rips it open, you know, bearing titties and all.
Like, was the woman okay with it?
Oh yeah, she was fine with it.
Good.
So
most would be, but sometimes, you know, women guests, female guests, as I'll explain later, it's a mixed bag of whether or not they actually want to be there.
No, I, you know, from my understanding, the strippers get more handsy with the females.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep.
Can vouch for that.
But yeah, that's the extent of my stripper story.
Yeah, I've been to a few strip clubs, you know, throughout my adult age and stuff like that. I haven't been to one recently. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've been to a strip club in about maybe like 8 or 9 years at this point now. Recently, and yeah, my favorite strip club story actually it doesn't so much have to do with like me and a stripper. It has to do with like seeing people get bounced out, getting a dude getting bounced out of a bar because like he didn't respect the protocols. Like no, those are always funny. Like seeing some random dude getting snatched up at the club.
I did see one of those during my time there too. So, yep.
Yeah, I don't have any. Maybe the wildest story I have is like some drunk women who are definitely there for, you know, as part of a bachelorette party and stuff. Like, women have a lot of fun at strip clubs. They do, and you know what? It's funny because like I feel like that's one of the real times that, you know, like that's one of the real times when I feel like the average woman, like, you know, like lets their inhibitions down, like when they're actually at a club that, you know, like when they're actually at a strip club and like they're seeing women up on stage, you know, like, you know, being provocateurs, I guess, and stuff like that. And, you know, like, and, you know, like women and the women that are there just like being patrons of the club and stuff, you know, they're just having a good time for the most part, you know? And I remember, man, like there, like the once there was one I was there. There was a group of women there for a bachelorette party and stuff like that. So of course, like the bride to be had like the sash and the tiara and all that stuff, and and of course, like the people in her party were like buying her lap dances and stuff like that. And man, I have not seen that much money spent for one dancer at a strip club ever until that night. So much money, and yeah, so like I didn't. So like that would probably be one of my favorite strip club stories because I was like, man, like wow, like she's getting paid tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For the most part, I just go there, enjoy myself. Strip clubs have some of the best food.
Yeah, there might be some hidden gems. Yes.
Some hidden gems.
I've heard that before.
That sounds nasty.
Yeah, I've heard strip clubs actually have some pretty decent food.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you say otherwise, Steph, right?
No. Well. So I used to be a patron at a local quote unquote gentleman's club. Once in a while, I'd go with whatever partner I was with because I always felt like it spiced up the relationship. And I do agree, I get more FaceTime with the ladies because we're less of a threat, and it would generally generate more money from the guy, which is fine by me because I like men and women. So win-win. I like couples dances. 9 times out of 10, though, I'd be the one dragging the guy down for the couples dance, and that really pisses me off. I'm like, dude, really? Why am I the one that needs to beg for a couples dance? Anyway, I have a second job that may or may not involve with a gentleman's club and helping serve stuff. So when I mentioned about food, yes, some food is delicious and some food is not delicious. And I could spend hours and episodes talking about the things that I have seen and heard at the Gentlemen's Club. Let's just call the entertainer Zelda as her stage name. And if anyone is ever interested in the trials and tribulations of Zelda, the entertainer, I'm happy to tell some stories. But I guess the one that I will tell is there was, speaking of couples, so Laurent, you inspired me to tell this. There was a married couple that came in, and what they told me was, I have to use exactly what they said because it's really embarrassing. The wife, I don't know if she was like on drugs or drunk or just crazy naturally. She's like, I like me the black girls and my husband likes the white girls. I'm like, wow, that's really uncomfortable for me to hear that. I'm going
Yeah.
to walk away. Right? Like, it's just like, do you need to did you anyway. So they're doing their own thing, but the wife's going around the club telling the dancers how to dance, like, "You're going too fast. You're taking off your top facing the wrong direction. You need to spin slow." Like, my jaw was dropping. Like, I'm surprised she didn't get smacked by a heel. Um, and the husband, he was tipping some girls. Now I feel so bad for this man because he did not, in my opinion, overstep any boundaries. They were at a strip club. Of course, he's going to talk to the ladies. Of course, he's going to tip them. Did he touch them inappropriately? Not that I saw. So, like, he was exhibiting standard, normal, quote unquote, normal behavior. But the woman, like, for example, for me, because I'm running around doing work, she comes up to me, grabs my shoulder with this ironclad grip and says, "Don't you fucking go near my husband. I'm going to the bathroom." I'm like, I'm just doing my job. Okay. So I'm just serving drinks or whatever. And through the corner of my eye, I see 2 girls, dancers that went up to talk to him. He is still on his best behavior, not touching them, just chatting with them. And I'm like, all right. So I sit down because I'm now free. I don't need to do anything. Grab my invisible popcorn, sat next to a friend of mine, and we were just waiting, watching. Wife comes upstairs. She gets in one of the dancers' faces, like, Get away from my fucking husband. What are you doing talking to my fucking husband? She starts flipping out on the floor, freaking the fuck out. We had to get both bouncers and the manager to drag her ass out and her husband. And I learned later on that she's been kicked out of the club before. So I'm like, why did I send her back in here?
Yeah.
Oh, she wanted to start a real fight. And I'm like, dude, you do not want to do that. Are you serious right now? She thought she could take down the bouncers. The bouncers there are big dudes.
Yep. They're designed to take care of other big dudes.
Or crazy psycho people. So that's what I mean by like when I see female patrons, it's a mixed bag. Some want to be there and they're so much fun. They're great. They're the best. Then there's the other half that will go because they want to be the quote unquote cool girlfriend or cool wife to, to appease their husbands or boyfriends. But you can see the look of murder in their eyeballs. Like it's the look of murder. And I'm like, you should not be here. So.
It's like, I know a gentlewoman's club just over there.
Just one of many stories. I'm happy to share them in an anonymous manner on a go-forward basis.
Man. Rowdy customers at the strip club.
Hey, strip clubs can be like a real cool place to hang out. Now that I've learned, like being there, like actually like and getting to know the girls and all the shit that they have to put up with. But you also attract just some ridiculous donkeys as well.
All right. Well, that was all of our questions. Like we only have one tonight, but I mean that was pretty loaded.
Yeah. You got me going. Sorry, Ari.
I as soon as I turned 18 and got out of my parents' house, though, like I after I graduated from boot camp and like was halfway through and was starting A school in the Navy, I immediately went straight to a strip club. I had to see what it was about.
Yeah.
So we're through all our topics. Like this is a good show.
Fun. Perfect show for me to swing by and pop back in for. So thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
And basically let people know exactly what you have been doing, because it's not like you've just been away from Boss Rush. You've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Working. No,
well, besides work.
I primarily though had to take a step back because of my job. I took on another client in my pharmacy world and whatever. But I also have been doing a ton of I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying. A lot of interviews, spotlights. Like there was a period where I've been interviewing a developer publisher once, if not twice a week for almost 3 to 4 weeks. Behind the scenes, getting ready for PAX West, and stuff like that. Was that the right answer, Laurent?
That's appropriate. Okay. That's appropriate. Yeah, and who knows? Like for all you listeners and viewers out there, like you guys might actually see Stephanie, Pat, Corey if you're going to PAX. So be on the lookout. Like I've heard they like surprise hugs. I've heard that.
Especially Corey.
Yep. And with Corey, you have to surprise hug him from behind.
Oh, that's what I did wrong. Watch out, Corey.
You came from the front, and so that scared him. You need to come from behind.
All right. I want to go ahead and thank everyone so much for watching and or listening to this episode of After Dark. This has been episode 118 of the show. And just remember, this is the alternative topical podcast for the Boss Rush Network. You can catch new episodes every Friday on your podcast service of choice or on YouTube. Get the show 2 weeks early and ad-free along with other perks for as little as $1 over on Patreon. Remember, again, that's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. Check out our free not free. Ooh. Check out
free
our merchandise. Check out our merch.
Laurent said it was free, so.
Yep. All right, Corey. It's free now.
Trust me. If you come using a Laurent voucher at the merch store, it will bounce. Yeah, but check out our merch and find all of our content over at bossrush.net. Pat, Stephanie, y'all been wonderful. Thank you.
Here's to a better second half of the week.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, we need it. We need it.
Yes.
Thoughts and prayers, y'all. Thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
All right, we're going to get out of here. You guys have a good night. We'll see you in the next episode. So long.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.